We're keeping a very close eye on North Korea right now. A U.S. official tells CNN it's likely Kim Jong-un's regime is preparing a weapons test, possibly a new missile capable of hitting the United States with a nuclear weapon.
So I just thought I should point out real quick that I find it quite hilarious that, the difference in style over this parade for Kim Jong-il to show his military might. The the American news is like, North Korea could rain down nuclear weapons on the United States at any moment. Well, that's not exactly what Wolf Blitzer said, but kind of is what he said. And and meanwhile, the people on the BBC are making jokes about Kim Jong-un's parade, Kim Jong-il's parade, Kim Jong-un's parade got rained on, and the lady who's like the anchor desk person is like cracking up at the end of the segment. She can barely contain herself, the ear-to-ear grin. And this is the big problem with American media for me at this point, is like every time I listen to American media, it's the same thing. Godzilla coming! Godzilla coming! That's all I hear. Godzilla! Run for your lives! Godzilla! And I'm going to hear it over and over. North Korea's going to rain nuclear weapons on America! I mean, this is the best you can do, CNN. This is the best you can give the people of America. Just more blatant propaganda. More war propaganda so that you can profiteer from it. That's the best you can do. Anyways, I thought the BBC thing, the comparison there was kind of funny, and I just wanted to point it out to you real quick. And honestly, this is what I keep seeing on the news, is this Godzilla coming! That's all I see when I watch the American news, and it really is just sickening. So that's who you are, CNN. Godzilla coming! Godzilla coming! That's who you are, CNN, so you know. That's who you guys are. That's who you've been for a long time. And I think the American people deserve a lot better than that. So you know. Look, the only way this war is going to end, one of these days it's got to end, is when you decide that you're going to make it happen. And if you don't decide that you're going to make it happen, then it's going to fall on your kids' shoulders to make it happen. So, please, decide. The war profiteers are worse than anyone in ISIS. ISIS wouldn't exist without the war profiteers. Okay? Thank you all. I have other things to say. I'll be back soon.
Now, Kim Jong-un may be the supreme leader of North Korea, but he hasn't been able to control the weather on the day of his big parade. Rain's been falling on Pyongyang on the morning of what should have been the country's biggest ever military parade to mark the 70th anniversary of the founding of the ruling Workers' Party. Now, tens of thousands of soldiers, civilians, in fact, the whole city is waiting for a break in the weather so events can get underway. And our correspondent Steve Evans is there.
There has been rain on Kim Jong-un's parade. A heavy, continuous downpour in the morning meant that the whole thing has been postponed. It was meant to start pretty well shortly after dawn, with celebrations actually going right through the day into the evening. It now looks like it'll start in the early afternoon. As you can see, it's cleared up. The city has come to a stop. That barge, that dredging barge, for example, has been hard at work through the week. Now it's silent and still. Earlier in the morning, we saw hundreds and hundreds of troop-carrying trucks going through the streets heading to the parade, so the preparations are there. The whole of this city is involved, many of them performing. We've seen troops of kids with choreographed flag waving, that kind of thing. Troops of workers, often in military uniform, mending curbstones, all kinds of activity. This is North Korea, and particularly Kim Jong-un's very big day. The rhetoric, no doubt, will be very, very hard. The sun isn't exactly shining, but the rain has stopped.
Steve Evans there. Do stay with us on BBC News. Still to come.
We're keeping a very close watch right now on North Korea. Kim Jong-un's government is getting ready for an important national celebration and a show of military strength. That's especially ominous in light of a new warning that North Korea's nuclear missiles could actually hit the United States. Brian Todd has been speaking with U.S. officials and weapons experts about the dangers. What are you learning, Brian?
Wolf, tonight this latest warning comes from a top U.S. admiral who constantly watches the North Korean threat. He says North Korea can miniaturize nuclear weapons, put them on a rocket just like this one that could reach the U.S. His warning comes on the eve of a major North Korean military display marking a crucial anniversary for Kim Jong-un's regime. The top admiral in charge of protecting America's homeland from a nuclear attack gives a chilling assessment about North Korea.
They have the ability, they have the weapons, so they have the ability to miniaturize those weapons, and they have the ability to put them on a rocket that can range the homelands.
Weapons experts tell CNN Kim Jong-un has developed sophisticated rockets with advanced technology.
The most likely next vehicle that North Korea will use is their large liquid-fueled space launch vehicle called Unha, which today launches a satellite but can be modified to carry a nuclear warhead. But that missile can reach global targets. It can reach targets all over the United States.
But experts say the North Koreans haven't flight tested those rockets yet, and they could break up as they re-enter the atmosphere, sparking retaliation from the U.S.
You may be down a 10-20% chance of success, and are you willing to commit suicide for a 10% chance of success? I mean, most nations would say absolutely not.
But North Korea's not most countries. Analysts say Kim's regime already has ballistic missiles which can carry a warhead to Alaska or Washington state. They could soon have the ability to fire a nuclear-tipped missile from a submarine, which could launch surprise attacks off America's coasts. They're constantly testing, refining those capabilities. U.S. officials tell CNN they previously thought that North Korea might test a rocket carrying a satellite sometime around this weekend, the massive celebration marking the anniversary of the founding of the regime. But satellite pictures show little evidence of preparations, and U.S. officials now say a test could be delayed, but they're still watching closely. If Kim doesn't conduct a test launch near the anniversary, America and its allies are not out of danger.
North Korea is conducting cyber attacks as we speak. North Korea has already tried to bring down or demonstrate that they could bring down the South Korean banking system. Imagine Wall Street suddenly losing all of its information.
South Korean officials say North Korea's got a cyber army which has demonstrated the capability and the will to attack its enemies. They are believed to have launched the massive cyber attack on Sony Pictures Entertainment last year. And recently, a South Korean lawmaker declared that a group linked to North Korea hacked South Korea's subway system last year. A North Korean cyber attack somewhere around the anniversary celebration this weekend is a real possibility, Wolf.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. Brian, you're also getting new satellite images of the regime's preparations for that military parade in Pyongyang that's supposed to happen in the next day or two.
We just got these images, Wolf. Take a look. These images come from the Group 38 North, taken just a couple of days ago. It shows the staging areas in eastern Pyongyang. Hundreds of trucks, tents, and military armored vehicles are right in this area. This is a converted helicopter base. Here you see replicas of Kim Il-sung Square and a replica of a reviewing stand right here that they've been practicing on. Experts say this could be the biggest military parade in North Korea's history. Watch for those images, Wolf. They will be amazing.
We will certainly watch it. They've had huge parades over the years. This one could be even bigger. Brian, thanks very, very much.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.